MusicMaster, age 16, the United States. He beat Yao Yao to reach the quarterfinals. Since turning pro just a few months ago, MusicMaster has made a lot of people sit up and take notice, not least his parents, who didn't know he played the game until just 3 weeks ago. Adrian Piedra, age 18, Mexico. He beat GelTube to reach the quarterfinals. A big player with a big personality, Adrian Piedra has been a fixture in the game since the early days and set the standard for the whole of Latin America. He trains hard and plays harder.
These two players is going to be very interesting. MusicMaster loves to play Siege. Adrian Piedra loves to play bait. That's not really a great matchup for Adrian Piedra, so let's see how this shakes out.
And definitely a tale of, let's get the Hog Rider coming in right now behind the Ice Golem. Let's see how this initial push goes right away. Oh, the tornado's holding place, but that Hog Rider might not get pulled. It does. Now, there is a little bit of a trick that these pros have been practicing. If you put an Ice Golem in front of the Hog Rider, sometimes, the tornado will not pull the Hog Rider because the Ice Golem will block and keep it on the tower. If you can counter a tornado in that way, you have a huge advantage right off the bat in this match.
Yeah, Hog Rider gonna get a swing on the left side tower of the bats. Just were not able to clear it out in time. And it looks like a Mega Minion is gonna be played in the back here. And looks like Goblins just to get off a little bit of stabs here. They will get off 2 stabs because they're played 1 tile to the left of center on that left side bridge.
Hog Rider, a very popular win condition today in all sorts of decks. Sometimes a really light deck where it's really Hog Rider's the main card, but often it's been paired with some sort of big alternate win condition. We've seen Sergio Ramos do it with Hog Rider 3 Musketeers. We've got Hog Rider Cannon card here, and on the other end, MusicMaster's running Hog Rider with Mega Knight. Very popular guy in London today.
Yeah, he's a very popular guy. The only time he wasn't popular was when CMC banned him versus Electrify.
Very true. And that was only because Electrify loves the card so much he plays it a lot. That doesn't even make sense.
So it's the most favorite card today. Hog Rider coming in on the left-hand side for Adrian Piedra. Is this gonna get a shot off on the tower? Bats just are not gonna be able to clear it out in time. Another shot, but an Ice Golem coming in on the left-hand side. But Ice Wizard one-shots Bats.
These two teenagers practice so hard at this game. They take it very seriously. Now, sometimes, you think these younger players might goof off a little bit, not, take it seriously. Both of them research really hard, practice really hard. Almost a tale of 2 different families, though. Adrian Piedra's family, knew about it from day one. He mentioned when he qualified for the spring season, the first person he saw was his sister and all of her friends when he opened the door to his bedroom, and they were all watching on their phones and going, "Yay, you won!" Meanwhile, MusicMaster studies hard, plays his music recitals all the time. He didn't want his parents to know because he thought they wouldn't approve. He only told them that he plays this game when he said, "Hey, I gotta go to Los Angeles to compete for the North American Championship." And they were thinking, we'll let you go to this one thing, but that's it. And then he wins, and you go, well, I guess we're going to London now. And they've had a total 180. Both of his parents are in the audience today, super supportive of his dream of becoming the first world champion. Hog Rider jumping across the rivers. Mega Knight lands on the cannon card. Hog Rider looks like free and clear, but no, tornado pulls him backwards.
Oh, the cannon card doesn't die fast enough though, so the Hog Rider goes into the tower and gets 3 shots. So much damage off on the left-hand side. The Inferno Dragon might not reach the tower, but that Hog did a ton of damage. Let's see how Adrian Piedra responds.
Tons of damage across the board. Mega Knight comes in. Now, Mega Knight, if he gets placed just right, can full counter the Hog Rider. And look at that, 0 damage. 7 elixir on defense against a 4 elixir attack. You're overspending, but it forces your opponent to defend against the Mega Knight on the counter attack, and that's where you get your elixir advantage.
Yeah, cannon card comes down and comes out a little bit too early. Takes 1 shot from the Mega Knight, but here comes the Hog Rider on the right-hand side for Adrian Piedra. The Goblins and the Bats. That's gonna be a log. He just gets down the Hog in time, but the Poison is just gonna get a little bit of chip. Is he gonna be able to stop the Inferno Dragon?
The Inferno Dragon is super dangerous in this matchup. It's going to do really well against the Hog Rider, Ice Wizard, and Cannon card. So Adrian Piedra has to figure out ways, he doesn't really have any Swarm troops in his deck, to keep that Inferno Dragon occupied. If it locks onto the tower, within 4 seconds, you're dead.
Yeah, Adrian Piedra might go for the spell cycle here or just play defense, but an Ice Golem and an Inferno Dragon on the left-hand side for MusicMaster. I think MusicMaster knows this. He's got to figure out a way to sneak through a Hog. There's the Hog Rider on the left-hand side, Hog Rider on the right-hand side for Adrian Piedra.
I don't think he can stop this Hog Rider. Whoa, the one swing doesn't get through, it locks on. MusicMaster's gonna take game 1 of this matchup. A razor-thin game. 1 minute into overtime, he takes the tower with that Inferno Dragon.
MusicMaster had, this cheaper deck, the quicker, cycle deck, and took advantage.
Mega Knight Knight really helped. Like, Cannon Cart is good against Hog Rider, but it doesn't pull the Hog Rider. The Hog Rider still gets to the tower and does damage. Meanwhile, Mega Knight, if played correctly, can knock it out. MusicMaster opens with a Goblin Hut, rarely seen building. We saw it the first time earlier today. Maybe he's playing that weird, Furnace Goblin Hut deck we saw earlier, or he could be playing the P.E.K.K.A. Goblin Hut deck that Lupanji debuted at the EU Finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, but it looks like he's going back. We're going back in time to match number 1. Furnace Goblin Hut on the field. We might even see a flying machine in this deck. MusicMaster just going to go with the chip game.
And if you're just tuning in, MusicMaster defeated Yao Yao in 3 games in round 1, and in game 3, he pulled out a never-before-seen double spawner deck using Goblin Hut and Furnace to harass a tower in order to defeat Yao Yao and knock him out of the tournament. I thought it might have just been a deck designed to counter Yao Yao's Golem deck, but he said later it was from Britain's own St. Bellican designed the deck and gave it to him. St. Bellican not able to play in this year's CCGS, but he will be eligible next year, and perhaps he'll be representing London on the global stage.
Yeah, I would like to see some new innovative decks from him, especially if he made this one. But a Hog Rider's coming in on the left-hand side. It doesn't look like he's a Goblin Hut to answer. Furnace comes down. Oh, the Fire Spirit just chipped down that Hog Rider and it falls. The bacon has been fried.
And think about this. Fire Spirits, 2 elixir, you get 3 of them. But really, you usually only need 2. Like, 2 Fire Spirits will take out minions and most of the swarm cards you're worried about. When you play Furnace, and if you can get that value, like as if you had played Fire Spirits, then you're getting an entire building and several more waves of Fire Spirits for only 2 elixir, which is a great deal. That's, I think, what makes some of these decks work, is that if I can defend a 4 elixir Hog Rider with a Goblin Hut, and for 1 elixir get like half a Goblin Hut after it, defend a minion horde with a Furnace, and then get the rest of the minion horde, I'm generating so much value over time that it's really hard for the towers to step, and you can see it right here. 1689, he's hardly attacked at all.
Yeah, he just lets the Hog Rider smack his right side tower to kind of even the damage. Doesn't really matter.
Oh, Flying Machine's locked on. Got several shots before Mega Man can come down and take it out. The Cannon Cart on defense was turned into just a regular old cannon, so it will not counterattack at all, and loses health over time as a building, falls off the board.
Yeah, and he's using these buildings as kind of like sort of an elixir collector, You place down a building, and it slowly gains you elixir over time, because like you said, it keeps on spitting out these Fire Spirits or Spear Goblins, which you kind of have to deal with every time.
Yes, Spear Goblins were recently buffed in a balance update, and Goblin Hut was the biggest beneficiary of that change because it simply produces more goblins than anything else.
Yeah, Ice Wizard on the right-hand side for Adrian Piedra. Here comes a Hog Rider put right into a Furnace, and the other Fire Spirit just moseys along and smacks into it.
MusicMaster, though, is in a bit of a predicament because he has both of his towers are under 2,000 health. Meanwhile, Adrian only has 1 tower that's really low. So MusicMaster is going to be forced to go into the left lane, and that leaves MusicMaster's right lane a little more vulnerable to some sort of all-in attack by Adrian if he can put it together.
Yeah, let's see if he's going to be able to put that together, because there's only 831 left on his left-hand side. Hog Rider coming down on the right-hand side. It's going to go right.
Wow.
Oh, the Mega Knight kind of just smashes the ground, but it still gets the Hog Rider. Not really exactly what he wanted, but still got the job done.
Cannon Cart's recent balance update means that it's really good against Mega Knight, barely survives, and that's why the Flying Machine came out, but the Mega Minion is blocking it, making the Cannon Cart hard counter that Flying Machine, or hard counter the Mega Knight, and now the Flying Machine's just left to pick up the scraps.
Yeah, and Adrian Piedra just went to a poison cycle really early, and I mean, if MusicMaster doesn't start spell cycling out Adrian Piedra, it might be looking grim, but there it is. The poison comes down, and the Cannon Cart just doesn't get in range of the tower to end the game.
1 tile short. That was a little bit closer to the game over. Here we go. Oh, the Hog Rider comes in again, but those forward-placed Goblin Huts are so effective. And once again, Ice Spirit's going to hold it in place. 1 swing, though, does bring it down to 860. Adrian Piedra got it down to triple digits. Only 300 damage separates these 2 towers. This is anyone's game.
Yeah, that's the second time he missed with the Mega Knight, but this time he got punished for it. He can't afford to let that happen one more time in this game. Otherwise, he's going to take the loss. Poison comes down, kills the Spear Goblins and the Goblin Hut, gets a little bit of damage on the tower. The poison coming out for MusicMaster, trying to get a little bit of chip value, but it looks like there's going to be a Furnace. That just takes care of this Hog, and that Tornado isn't going to do anything.
Kind of a wasted Tornado, too. That was 3 elixir down the drain, and when you're trying to spell cycle as quickly as this, it's really difficult to let that go, and the Log Poison takes it down. Adrian Piedra realizes the game is over in just a few seconds, and MusicMaster, in a shock that silences the audience, has swept the Latin American champion in 2 games.
Yeah, just unbelievable play from MusicMaster. He brought out the deck once again, played it pretty phenomenally. He even made a couple of misplays there, you know, with the Mega Knight, not even gonna matter. Beautiful deck choice. And as we progress in this tournament, could this be the deck that really carries him the entire way?